Okay. Can you guys hear me? Okay, cool. Awesome. I've used the internal thing microphone for this because I usually have an external microphone, but my iPad doesn't have a USB, so depends on who you think it is. So today I am using, well, for the beginning part of this, I'm using Procreate. So you guys get to see me. I'm a little less consistent, I guess, with Procreate because I'm kind of new to it. But I really like it, so. You're probably right then. I have a lot of theories about human Alistair. And I finally drew him, so now I'm just gonna keep drawing him. Oh, are they coming up on my... Oh, hang on. 1 second. That's not what I want. Yeah, usually I do, like, I have a window capture. But my iPad doesn't have a window capture, so I have to do like a straight up stream or screen capture, which means you get to see everything that I'm doing. But I'm gonna turn off my notifications 1 second. There we go. Oh, thank you. You want to hear my human Alistair headcanons? Is that what you're saying? Well, I mean, I think that there's a lot of people. The most common, I think, headcanon from him is, I mean, I don't know exactly how much was, like, confirmed for him, like, in real life. But, hang on. Well, for one, he grew up in 1930s Louisiana, so, early 1900s Louisiana, so, whether he's half white, half Creole, or what, most likely, there was a bit of, yeah. But he grew up in the racist South. So, I mean, I think that he doesn't talk with a Louisiana an accent at all. Obviously, some of that's from being on the radio, because that sort of transatlantic, accent, that's what they wanted for radio, right? They wanted so that you could understand it. And I told you to go away. Why are you still popping up? I don't know if that'll fix it. Man. So, it doesn't matter. It's still whatever. I don't care. It's whatever. It's fine. A lot of people are liking my stuff. That's great. Hello. We're just talking about human Alistair, and then I'm being very distracted by my notifications on my computer, my tablet, and not knowing how to use it. Yeah, you guys are just gonna have to. And now it doesn't tell you, at least, not that it matters. But, well, I'm sure that he had to deal with a lot of thanks. I've only ever drawn him once, so this is going to be the second time. But, I still think that people, I mean, in addition to drawing him a little too light colored, I mean, I don't think it's unreasonable to think that he probably had to deal with a lot of racist shit when he was alive. Hello. Yeah, I'm streaming again, because I finally figured out how... Oh yeah, you mean like the other day? Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to do it, and something weird happened then, and then it like said that I was streaming for a really long time, when I wasn't. So I'm a little all over the place right now. I also drew on the wrong layer. That's okay. I say the biggest change I had to get used to is just, like, for Procreate, the layers are a little different. You don't have vector layers, at least I can't. You might have vector layers. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot. I mean, we know a little bit about Angel, right? That he had to deal with some stupid shit when he was alive. I mean, and we can assume the same of Alistair, I think. Practice, lots of practice. I'm still not that great. But, you know, I mean, was it confirmed that he was actually a radio host when he was alive? Or was he a radio host later when he was the radio demon? I mean, obviously he had something to do with radios when he was alive, otherwise he wouldn't be the radio demon now, but, I don't know if it's been confirmed that he was actually had a radio show. Either way. Okay. I cool. Okay. The interesting thing about radio is that no one has to see you. They don't have to know what you look like or who your parents are. I have a lot of feelings about Human Al. Hello. Yeah, I don't actually know a whole lot. I mean, I know a lot, but it's very hard, I think, sometimes to sort of weed through what is, like, actually canon and what is just generally accepted by the fandom at large. Right, yeah, yeah. But I mean, the idea that, like, a black guy would be famous for something, you know, I mean, there obviously were famous African Americans, but not super, not in the very sort of upper echelons. Yeah. See, yeah, I don't know, because I've watched some of the live streams, but I haven't watched all of them, or, you know, I'm usually drawing when I'm watching them, so, like, sometimes I miss things. But especially considering, like, how powerful and, you know, everything that he is in the show, I think that exploring him as a human and being, you know, a little less powerful and... Okay, thank you. You can probably hear my dog grumbling in the background as he lays down like an old man. I mean, I think it's also important because, you know, he is fairly consistently sort of whitewashed in the fandom. Which, I mean, if you're used to drawing white people, then that's pretty easy to do. I'm not. I mean, I mostly draw white people, but not all the time. Hello! I've actually only seen one. Yeah. I mean, from what I understand, he's Creole. He's black, half white. But I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's the mix that he is. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely... I'm not gonna talk too much about about it because people get weird about it. But, I mean, I think that it makes his character much more interesting. It makes all of their characters much more interesting. I mean, if you pay attention to where they're from and their background, and consider that in, when you write for them or when you draw them or anything like that. I think that it's the same thing with him being Ace, right? Like, that's a representation that is important to people, and that you need to be, that's something that if you choose to, if you choose not to include that in something, then you need to be aware that you are making a choice not to include that into something. Right, yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then you have an idea, like, what... Right, like, yeah, I'm not blaming anybody for it. I just think that, it's now... It's just something you have to think about. If you're going to choose to not go that way, then you need to know, you need to be aware that that's the choice that you're making. Not start the stream to be all weird and preachy. So how's everybody's day today? What is meh? What's meh about today? Mine was okay. I got my first COVID vaccine today, so that's exciting. Except for that now my arm hurts. But, that's why I don't exercise. Because I don't want to throw up. Twinsies. Yeah, I'm not in any sort of group that would require me to get it earlier than now, so, so I had to wait. Oops. Yeah, they're kind of annoying. With Clip Studio Paint, I could always just say, like, just pay attention to all the layers. Thanks. But now I have to, like, set a specific, reference layer, and I'm also very new to it. I've been using it for like 2 days. I'm glad I can make you feel better just by doing this. Oops. Again, wrong layer. But there's definitely some things about Procreate that I am a fan of, although I'm still not super great at I'm used to using vector layers and things, and it's not. So there's definitely some stuff that I need to get used to. Yeah. And I do it constantly. He's listening to the music. I have, I don't know how to say that. Ibis paint? I don't know. I have it. I don't use it. Like I said, my go-to is Clip Studio. The only reason I'm using Procreate now is because I didn't, when I bought, oh, okay, it's just it's not the wrong layer. It's just a weird one. Okay. That's the biggest, I just have to constantly remind myself to check my layers. But when I got the iPad, I didn't realize that my license, because I have a license for, I had to pay for a license for Clip Studio Paint. It doesn't work. It doesn't transfer over to a tablet from my computer. So I have to pay a monthly subscription. And which is okay. I mean, I'm not completely getting rid of it because it's still my go-to. But it's nice to have a backup. And I like Procreate. The brushes are much easier to deal with and to find. Not that they're hard to clip, but I mean when I bought the license, you know, I have a Surface Pro, so which is technically a tablet computer. So I didn't even realize that they would be different. That clips, or that the iPad and the Surface Pro would be considered different, but they are. And I think I would be able to, except that they don't offer that. They don't offer, straight up licenses for mobile devices. And I mean, the nice thing about Procreate was that it was like $10 or something. And then, like, if I want to, I haven't bought any brushes or anything like that, but if I want to, I can. But there's tons of free stuff out there. So, there's a lot of options. The biggest problem with Procreate is doing comics. It's the comic pages. Because it's not made for that. I mean, you can do it. You absolutely can do it. But Clip Studio Paint, hello. Clip Studio Paint is 100% optimized for that. I mean, it's got, it does all the formatting for me, and I don't have to worry about any of it, and it's all good and easy to deal with. With Procreate, I have to do that all on my own. I have to draw my own speech bubbles. I have to, do weird stuff with the text, which is fine, because that's what I used to do before I realized that Clip Studio Paint offered an easier way. But if I ever want to print anything, so if I ever made the comic into a physical book, it's a lot easier on Clip Studio Paint because it's already sort of optimized for that. Oops. It's great. That's what obviously I'm using right now. And there's definitely, I mean, it's bigger than I was expecting, which is never a bad thing, when you're drawing. And there's a little bit of a learning curve. Also, I have to use a glove, like a digital art glove, because it's much more sensitive, and I can't figure out how to turn on palm rejection, which I think is a thing. But oh no, that's not gonna work. Boop, boop, boop. And there's a little bit of a just a general learning curve for it. I think the best thing I like about it is that it's just smoother. I mean, it's not as old. No, I did the background before I started streaming, because this wasn't actually what I was planning on streaming. I was just gonna have it up when I started, so that there was something going on. And then it got a little more involved than I was expecting, and then it was like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna start this stream now so that we actually start. So yeah, the background was already there. As I write music, don't play it. I'm sure it doesn't actually make sense. Yeah. Well, I was always gonna finish it, but it was not supposed to be an entire piece of like this. I don't generally start stuff that I don't finish. I don't always post it, but I usually finish it. Well, thank you for coming for the time that we had together. Feel free to come back if you can. I'll probably be here for a little bit. Oh, that's great. That sounded really sarcastic. That is great. Please, I would very much appreciate it. There's some things happening in the Patreon soon that are pretty exciting. Bye. Oh, what? Oh, there are things happening. Yeah, there's some stuff happening. We're gonna, you'll see soon, once I get it all figured out. Poor little Al, not allowed to go in. Not allowed to go in. Because people are dumb. Alright, let's see. Down. It was already done. I already did the background, so you guys wouldn't have to see me struggle with that forever. Um, yeah. Yeah. Racism was a thing, is a thing, still is a thing. Um, so originally this started out as normally I don't do backgrounds. I don't do backgrounds very often because they're a pain in the butt. This one, actually, it was, I had some help thanks to, that's the picture from Bourbon Street. So, you know, that's usually where I get my backgrounds from. If I do backgrounds, is I very rarely make them up on the spot. I usually use references. But then I usually use references for everything, for poses and all that. Yeah. Well, young Alistair, once I finalize the pin idea, that's probably going to be the one that we go with first. Alright. Nope, that was not what I wanted. There we go. And this. Do I want him to be? So this was originally actually a request. Somebody requested human Alistair and his shadow. Okay. There we go. We haven't gotten that far yet, but then it became a whole thing. Didn't mean for it to become a whole thing. But sometimes you just gotta let it happen. Oh wait, no, I forgot what I was doing. There it is. Yeah. I read a fic where his name was Chester once, and now that's all that I... that's his name in my head. I didn't name him. I don't know. I just always figured they were like his weird, just like his weird magic shit. Chester. That's his name. It's Chester. Or it was in this fic. It was the same fic where he had an entire swamp in his room. It was weird. It was good. It was weird. I don't even... I can probably find what it was called. I don't read a lot of fics. It's not like voodoo magic. This is voodoo shadow. I don't know. I feel like you're just like a beat behind all the time. Parasol is in like a... I mean, there are some, I would imagine. It's a pretty talented group of people. But like I said, I don't read a bunch of them. Mostly I just read stuff that somehow finds its way across. I mean, I have a lot of friends who are authors, not for this fandom, but for other ones. So I read their work. And then I write a comic, so it's kind of like writing a fic. I mean, when I write, it's a lot. I write incomplete sentences and paragraphs, and then I just draw. Yeah, so every so often the screen capture just like stops. It has nothing to do with YouTube, it's my computer. But yeah, I'm just have to pay attention to it and then make sure that it doesn't affect anything too bad. It's easier on a computer because you can use a separate software. I don't know if these are it's probably not the same street signs that were around during, in the 1920s, but, or 30s, but, too bad. I told my mom that one of the characters from this comic was from New Orleans, and she was like, I think we need to go do some research. I was like, what? She's like, yeah, we should take a trip down to New Orleans. You should. I mean, I write constantly. Not just this. Just this. And no one will ever read it, any of the stuff that I write, because it's terrible. But, it's great practice. Yeah, New Orleans is, like, one of my mom's favorite places. So, she was like, we should go do some research. Go hang out on Bourbon Street, or she's not really into Bourbon Street, but the French Quarter and, all that kind of stuff. I was like, okay, Mom, you're gonna pay for it. I've been to New Orleans once. It was lovely. But I left my wallet at a sandwich shop. And then I walked 3 miles back to get it. Yeah, except for the comic doesn't take place in New Orleans. No, I will not eat spicy Cajun food because I cannot stand spicy food. I wish I could, but I cannot. I like non-spicy Cajun food. I like jambalaya, and I like gumbo. I like seafood. I like, crayfish. Definitely would. I like jazz music, and I like, beignets. Go gator hunting. Right. That's me. I'm gonna go gator hunting. I like frog legs. I don't like venison. It's too gamey for me. Well, I mean, I like some game meat. I like rabbit. But I'm from right up the Mississippi. So we have some of the same stuff. Not the same culture or anything like that, but, some of the same foods and things. We like to think that we do. We don't, but... I'm also not super into, like, the bar theme. Yeah, I think that we would get along fairly okay as far as food is concerned, except that I'm pretty sure he probably cooks some spicy shit. I mean, the weirdest thing I've ever eaten is probably... I've eaten ostrich. I think I've eaten, like, zebra. I'd really rather it be a person than it be spicy. I would much rather eat a person than eat spicy food. Because I know he's probably a really good cook. And I want to eat it. Yeah, I used to live in South Africa. So, it wasn't super weird. I mean, it was, you know. I'm gonna spend too long on the sign and it's not even gonna make any sense. That's how much I hate spicy food. But I would, like, if he was gonna cook, I would want to eat it, right? The worst option would be if it was spicy people, right? Plus, at that point, I'm probably in hell anyway, so who cares, right? C'est la vie. And no one is allowed to use that in some sort of criminal trial or whatever. I don't eat people, okay? Never eaten people. I'm not interested in eating people. You think Alistair's a whiskey drinker? I can see that. Yet another thing we would have in common. I don't drink very often, but when I do, whiskey is definitely one of the things that I won't say no to. You don't think he drinks bourbon? Or, I mean, it's the same basic stuff, but it seems like a very Louisiana thing. Again, I don't know how hoity-toity he would be. Yeah, anything. I mean, that's you would just eat anything that you would normally eat in another animal. I mean, staying away from the internal organs. Although organs are very high in proteins and nutrients and whatever. Yeah. But your legs, your thighs, and anybody's thighs, any meaty parts of you, they're probably gonna taste the best. I don't know what people taste like. I was also an anthropology student, for a while in college. One of the many things that I was in college, and I'm in the wrong layer, probably. Yeah. Yeah, that's why you cook it. I was an anthropology student in college for a little while, and we had to take a bunch of, like, classes about, you know, that sort of, not that specific thing, but the addressing your bias. How about we just say we stay, why Bertho stay away from people? Don't eat the people. People are for socializing with, not cooking and eating. No, it's on, okay? That was actually what I went up here to draw, then I got distracted by the sign. Thank you very much for that. You hear my cat singing in the background. It's very exciting. Oops. I have to socialize. It's part of my job. I think I looked it up. Yes, his voice is, it's a thing of beauty, really. He's yowling because he's not fixed yet, because I'm a terrible cat owner. He doesn't go outside, but he's trying to sing to the ladies. I mean, I socialize with you guys. Does that count? Does this count as being social? Okay, now we're going to figure out how to do a lighting effect in Procreate. Let's see. I think there's a brush for this or something. Yeah. There you go. I'm only 28. Yeah, I have to be social with my clients, but not like super social. Let's see. Oh, I'm 28, so I don't really have to worry about legal drinking ages. I also don't drink that much. Yeah, well, we're just gonna do what we can do, okay? And if my light sources are not perfect, we'll just forget about it, okay? my god. He sounds like he's fucking dying. You're fine. He does this all the friggin' time. All the time. It's nighttime, and it's not nighttime, and it's just scream and scream and scream. He'll go into my basement where it's really... He'll go to my basement where it's really echoey, and just fucking sing all night. Especially if I'm doing this. If he has the option to be obnoxious. Alright, I think I'm back now. That was weird. I don't know. It's all new! It doesn't want to do what I'm used to it doing. Oh my gosh, Bumper! Quiet! Thank you. I'll let them know. let's see. No, that's not gonna work. Let's go with... It's better. I'm probably just going to give up on this in a minute and just call it a day. As soon as... Well, yeah, I mean, the idea being that, like, hell is very red. And everything about it is red. The sky is red, so naturally that's going to make everything much redder. Whereas this is now in, you know, the living human world or whatever. So, you know, you're going to have considerably more color variations in general, but also, you know, making it very clear that it's not the same place. You know, so if you make it, you can tell a lot of your story with color. I mean, like, if you, even in the comic, every place we've been so far has a color, like a overwhelming color scheme to it. So like inside the hotel is very blue, or like it's like a greenish, bluish, purplish color. It's a cooler color than outside, which was very red. Very pink. I love colors. I'm not always the greatest at picking them, but I love to use them. I mean, my best advice as far as colors go is that if you're trying to do shading or anything and you're not using like a multiple layer, you know, using red for highlights, or not red, using yellow for highlights, and blue for your shadows and your lowlights, will make things pop. Makes a good contrast as opposed to just using straight white, which obviously you can do. White and black. Alright, well, I'm just going to leave that alone for now. Because I've got other things I need to work on. And this was just supposed to be something to start off with. Alright. So first off, anybody have any requests? It's always a fun thing to start a stream with. Well, it's kind of the middle of the stream now, but otherwise I have a bunch of them. I can also use Clip Studio Paint if you would prefer that. Although right now there's a comic page pulled up on Clip Studio Paint, so a little bit of a spoilers. Oh, that's cute. That gives me very, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, well, I think it's just because I was just drawing a bunch of stuff from New Orleans, but very, like, sweet summer day sort of drawing. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, we used to have an old wooden swing at my grandparents' house too. They lived on a farm. They still live on a farm, but I've never seen Coco. But that does sound like a lot of fun too. But yeah, they got rid of their swing because it got really old and kind of dangerous. No, I don't like that perspective. Let's do this. Now it's just a bunch of pictures of wooden swings. Let's see, which kind of wooden swing do I want? Shut up. There's nobody here for you. Lots of children on wooden swings. Now we're just going to be really loud while we scratch our face. What's perspective? I don't know. It's a sketch. Oh, now the dog wants to sing too. Everybody wants to be a singer today. I have too many things. There you go. I generally will work on something until it's done. I mean, so what I'll do is I'll do a couple of sketches usually, and then, and work on them, like if I have multiple commissions or something like that. But if it's just me doing, like, just a drawing, I usually just work on the same one until it's done. And I usually don't leave. So, like, it's very rare for me to start a drawing and then finish it, like, tomorrow. Unless I'm waiting for something. So, like, if I'm waiting for somebody to tell me that they like it or they don't like it, then obviously I have to wait. But my preference is to do everything at the same time in one sitting. I don't know if that answered your question. But I hope so. I have too many apps on my phone. Things are also a little different for our live streams. So, like, because I have a habit of being very picky about my sketches and my, things like that. And, but, if I'm doing a live stream and obviously I need to do more than, like, I can't necessarily, unless I'm specifically working on, like, one specific thing, like this, for example, I'm not going to probably focus as much on this one thing than I would, like, because it's a live stream, than I would if I were, like, drawing it alone in my house. Yeah. I mean, also, I just like doing requests. I like drawing for other people. But it's also, I don't have to come up with things. I don't have to decide to draw, I can draw what other people want and, and have fun, drawing something different. It's also why I don't care about, like, I don't mind drawing things for ships I'm not in. Because it's different, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. I mean, and then sometimes you just gotta go off stuff that mistakes that you make, where you make Husk's hat, and then it doesn't look like a top hat, it looks like a cowboy hat, so you decide to make the entire thing about, there being a cowboy night. I mean, that's the fun thing about requests, as opposed to the main difference between, like, requests and commissions, is that for the most part, in a commission, if the client or the commissioner wants something, there's not as much, I mean, I can be like, hey, I want to draw this. But if they're paying for it, they get what they pay for. No, I do ask them, the Patreons and stuff, separately from you guys for requests. And I usually do theirs first. But, I mean, yeah, you don't have to, if I'm offering it to you for not being, like, not needing to pay for it, then you don't need to pay for it. You shouldn't feel like you do, because I offered it to you. I mean, the nice thing about requests is that I can say no. I mean, if somebody, I mean, I could also say no to a commission, but, I don't, usually. But, if somebody wants me to draw something I don't want to draw, at any point, I could be like, meh, no, I don't feel like doing this anymore. And then be like, here, you got a weird sketch. Whereas if somebody pays for, like, a full body commission, I have to do that. Which is why I love requests, because sometimes stuff sounds like fun, and then you start to draw it, and you're like, oh, well, this isn't turning out the way that I wanted it to, or whatever. And then sometimes people request things that I would love to draw, but I just can't. I just can't do it. I also started out, like, that's how I got better at art, was doing free requests. It was the best practice you could ever imagine. It's still how I get better. Yeah, Dot Eye Husk was very cute. I also am an extreme, I say this probably every time that I do this, but I'm an extremely messy drawer. Until, you know, I get to a point where I like, if I have enough base, like, sketches underneath my my white layer, eventually I'll find, something will come out that's nice and pretty. Also, I don't know where I got that from, but my biggest tip is, if you're doing sketches, what was this? Them sitting on a what is this? A swing? It's super cute. But if you're doing sketches and because a lot of people just change the I never say this word right. Oh, I was gonna say it right. The opacity. A lot of people just lower the opacity so you can draw over it. I don't think it does. It doesn't look right. So yeah, I'll make an entirely blank, like just a straight white layer, and then change the opacity on that. And I don't know, I think it looks better. It's easier for me to understand. Where do boobs go? Where do they... This is not very anatomically correct, but it's whatever. I was just talking today with somebody about how I'm not a fan of things that aren't anatomically correct. And then I was like, oh, well, except for my own work, which is never anatomically correct. Because I don't know anything about anatomy. That's the kind of stuff you learn in art school. I keep moving my arm and it keeps reminding me that I just got a shot today. It's not very happy with me. Right, exactly. Anatomy is for not hellish demons. Even if they are extremely humanoid. Oh. I always draw them with 5. Because that's... But it would be easier if I just didn't draw hands at all. That would be my preference, is that they didn't have hands at all. It'd be very hard. Yeah. Well, I was dumb and decided to have a bird girl. So not only do I have to do like the anatomy of, you know, human beings, but I also have to like do bird wing anatomy, which is like the hardest thing in the world. Wings are hard, which is why they're usually, this Momo will just stand there and I'm just like, whoop, whoop, there, now she's got wings. They're just doot, 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 doot. Unless I actually have to draw her, and then I have to pay attention to her wing anatomy. I'm very forgetful as an artist, so sometimes I will draw things and then realize halfway through that, like, I didn't add... Oh, wait, she has wings! I forgot I need to add the wings! More often, it's her ears that I forget. Yeah, sometimes. Although, because she's a bird, it's a little different. With a bat, it's easier because it's just basically, so you have a hand with really long fingers. This is your bat wing. But with a bird, yeah, because you have feathers, so you basically have, well, the way that I do it is you have 3, I'm trying to think. No, that's not it. You have 3 sections. So I have this one, I have this one, and then I have this one. And that's my simple, easy wing. If I'm doing a much more detailed wing, there's a lot more to it. And then you just sort of add little things. But a real wing has a lot more. So you have this part, you have flight feathers, and then you have a third set of, like, over the top feathers. And then these do it's weird. And then yeah, but I mean that's kind of an important part of her character, right? Is that she has wings, and I like drawing wings. That's not a problem. It's just sometimes I forget that she's supposed to have them. So like I drew a picture of her sitting on a couch, which I think I have here. No. Is it here? No, it's on Clip Studio. Okay. No, stop it. Go away. But yeah, I drew up a picture of her sitting on the couch, and I realized halfway through that I hadn't drawn her wings, and the way that she's sitting. Oh yeah, I did draw a deer. I drew Alistair as a deer. Because I saw this picture and was like, oh, okay. Pinterest won't let me save photos, so I have to take screenshots. But, and then I was like, you need to be a cartoon deer, so we borrowed some Bambi. But, Yeah, when I drew her and she was like the way she was sitting on the couch, her one of her wings was like would have been stuck underneath her, and I was like, it's fine, it's fine, she's fine. Yeah, no. Magic. That's more magic. I mean, all of Momo's clothes are backless, so she doesn't really have to. Getting dressed is pretty easy for her, because like the back of her like shawl thing has a V, and then her dress is like that. So when her wings just come out like this. I use a lot of references. Yeah, you guys have never seen her back, so that you wouldn't know that. You haven't, other than I think the time that I drew Al in her outfit. I don't think that I've actually shown her whole dress. Oh, the let's come back to serenade you. Bye. I know it's a weird. It's a bit having it on a weekday is kind of strange. I mean, the other thing you could do is have it so that like it zips up in the back or something. Or magic. Magic is always the answer. There doesn't have to be an answer for everything. Exactly. They snap their fingers, and it's a universal bird person trait. The ability to get dressed with a snap of the finger. They teach that at bird person school. I don't know. What? They teach that at deer person school? Birds, they can dress themselves. Deers can dress anybody. You gotta learn how to be a demon somewhere, right? Why not demon deer school? How wings with crystal feathers. That sounds badass. I mean, normal feathers aren't super flexible. I mean, when they're on wings. Wings are super dangerous to have, just from like a health standpoint. They're very easy to get to damage, and they're very hard to heal. I used to work at a rehab center for raptors. And most of the birds that we dealt with had injured wings. Unless they were owls. And then it was mostly detached retinas, so they were mostly blind. Which was super fun during feeding time, because they were terrible at, they, like, didn't want us in there, but they also were not very good at pinpointing where we were. So they would sort of just get dive bombed by blind owls all the time. Super great. It was a really cool job. I also got to do... yes. I got to do some, like, outreach stuff. So, I used to work with a American kestrel. His name is Hephaestus. He was just a cute little birdie. And he was also really good at raising chicks. So, like, when they had, kestrel babies that didn't have a mom anymore, they would give them to Hephaestus, and he would sort of raise them. But then eventually, because his problem was that he didn't have any flight feathers on his right side, so he couldn't fly very well. I do have dog meds tonight, but, not quite yet. Yeah, he was super cute. But he didn't fly very well, so once the chicks got to the point where they could fly, they would pick on him. They would bully him. So then they had to be taken away. Because they're fucking assholes. But he also could attract mates. He could, like, sing and get them to come to him. But he couldn't actually do the mating dance thing. Whoop. And so he could attract mates to him, but he couldn't actually mate with them, so it was all very sad. Because he couldn't fly. He could fly, but he could only fly in a circle. Because he didn't have any flight feathers. He was a good bird. He was very sweet, and it was very easy to handle. Which is what you want in a bird. Also, birds are heavy as shit. So, which is funny because they fly. but kestrels are small, so they're easy to, like, you don't have to, like, tire your arm out holding a friggin' red-tailed hawk for 4 hours. That's not Charlie. Yeah, I feel like chickens can either be really nice or just really fucking rude. I don't know. I've never had chickens. We had chickens at our farm, but I don't live there. And they were just like kind of dumb. And then we raised chickens like in my elementary school classroom. We like hatched chickens, which was both a very exciting and also very traumatic experience. Because inevitably some of them would not live. Because not all the eggs that hatch. I want chickens. Ducks are cool. Although ducks can be also very mean. Not as mean as geese. We also used to have a turkey, and the turkey would just fucking chase you around the yard like a lunatic for no reason. Yeah. Yeah, actually, that's a thing that I've heard, that you can feed chickens. Was it you can feed chickens dog food? Or something? It was something weird like that. I mean, it's got corn in it, I guess. No, that's not. It was, you could feed hedgehogs cat food. So, very different. I don't know where that came from. They're like goats. Goats will eat anything. I mean, I don't know if that's like 100% true, but when I was little, we used to read a book about goats that like ate tin cans and shit. And so that for the rest of my life, that's what I sort of assumed. Chickens, I believe it. Birds are savage. But there's only like 7 people that are allowed to have chickens in my neighborhood. And so I can't get a license to own chickens. Because 7 people already own chickens. Who are these 7 people? I don't know. I've never met them. Although my roommate's neighbors used to own chickens. I also can't own chickens because my cats would probably eat them. Because my cats eat everything. Also, I mean, I like eggs, but like not that much. And I'm not a big fan of chickens. Or of chicken. I would like a bird of a different kind, though. Not like a parrot, but like a... Yeah, he's also just really loud. Um... Yeah. Well, so that sound that you can hear, he is currently in my living room right now. I'm in my room. And so there's a hallway and a door in between us. And then I also have a fan on. And like I'm as far away from the door as you can get in my room. And he's still friggin' yowling like a crazy animal. Oops. Alright, actually, I'm gonna pause here for a second. You guys still there? Hello. Awesome. All right. So, now what? Now what do we want to talk about? What's today? Is today Wednesday? Yeah. Oh, okay. Because I can hear my neighbor putting out their trash, and I was confused. The various foods you can make with potatoes, or that you can make into potatoes. Because I think there's only one food you can make into potatoes, and that's a potato. I mean, delicious things definitely make. My question is, why when you make things out of potatoes, do they always, like, you have to eat them really fast? Well, except for, like, mashed potatoes, you don't. You can eat mashed potatoes cold. I like sweet potatoes. Hello. I like latkes. I've never had potato udon. Although I've made it in Harvest Moon. Because a cold potato is a bad potato. It's like, I'm sorry, I have things to do, and I can't always eat my french fries right when I get them. I'm good, how are you? Me too, but, like, sometimes I have to, like, drive home, or I forget that I have them. My dog freaking loves potatoes. Specifically french fries. He will get french fries, and he sits there and just stares at me until I give him one. I don't know what that is. I've heard that word before, but I don't know what it is. Is that like a Canadian thing? Because I feel like when I used to live in Buffalo, and I feel like that's where I heard it. Yeah, okay. I mean, I like hash browns, which are kind of like potato pancake, which I also like. I like scalloped potatoes. Potatoes and cheese, always good. Mm-hmm. I like my baked potatoes. Like, I'll just eat a baked potato with just, like, butter. But cheese and bacon, that's the best. Alright. I know it's not very Charlie Vaggy looking, but, I tried. Oh, hello. Welcome to the stream. I finally figured out how to do it. We were talking about raw oysters now. I like oysters. Even though they're kind of like weird and mucusy sometimes. By sometimes, I mean all the time. But, it's still very yummy. I like seafood in general. Alright. No, I like that. You don't bite into oysters. You just, like, drink them. go back. No, no, no. Oh, you're not gonna tell me what the friggin' answer? There we go. So many. It's fucking Louisiana. Alright, any other requests? It's the Gulf. I'm sure there's an oil rig somewhere. Okay. We can do that. Chibi. That is true. If it were like an oil thing, there would probably be. I'll probably color it later, but for now. uh, I've never seen Deepwater. Because he's an asshole, that's why. He's a friggin' jerk. He does love chaos. I mean, I know what I was. I was alive during that thing that it's based off of. I remember that. Never seen the movie. Although the list of movies that I've never seen that lots of people have seen is very long. I don't... Very rarely do I watch movies. Was it like 2000... When would it have been? It was a 9. Yes, it did. It did happen. I know. So in 2009, I would have been... I don't... That requires math. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I would have been 16. I'm good. My arm hurts. Not my drawing arm, but my other one, because I got my shot today. Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. I mean, the CEO, the VP handled it as well as the government allowed them to handle it, which was as badly as the government allowed them to handle it, which was pretty fucking bad. Amen. On other news, how the fuck do you draw a microphone? Now I can't. I'm gonna do one of those stupid, weird standing ones. Like his evil staff. I'll fix that in a second. Voodoo. The answer is always voodoo. If the question is Alistair, the answer is always voodoo. That would be really funny. Yes, I've played quite a lot of Pokemon. My favorite starter from any generation. I don't know. I usually go with the fire starters. No, that wasn't a starter. I really liked yeah. Stevie was cute. That was that Cyndaquil, was that the same? No, because it was... No, I know who it is. I like the owl Pokemon from the Hawaiian one. That's my favorite. I don't remember his name, but he was like a fat baby owl. My favorite Pokemon is yeah, that one. Yeah, that one. Is Pidgey. That's my favorite Pokemon. Actually, my favorite Pokemon is Pidgeot, but Pidgey is the first version of him. So... I've never caught a shiny Pokemon in my life. I've never seen a shiny Pokemon in my life. I've been playing Pokemon since it came out. Sealy, what? What? My second favorite Pokemon is that weird dragon that can't see. The one that looks like this. I don't, I don't, that's my other favorite one. That was a really bad drawing of it, but yeah, it's Dino, I think is the baby one. And then Hydrogen, that's it. I was like, I knew it's something. That's my other favorite. And I also really like Ghastly, but only because in the first season of the show, there was a Ghastly that could talk. And I thought that was freaking awesome. But then they never had another Ghastly that could talk, so whatever. Because I didn't want to meow. Also, Ghastlies are super easy to draw. I mean, I think that some of them might be. That's, yeah. That's the tree, right? The big, the ghost tree. My favorite legendary? Which what's his name? I'm not going to draw this one. The only one that's a fire and a dragon Pokemon, and it was from Black and White. The one that wasn't the other, the lightning one. I want to say Rayquaza, but that's not it. That's the space dragon. Reshiram. That's it. I'm glad you approve. And that was my favorite. Black and White has my favorite antagonist in it. I kind of guessed that from your username, from your Instagram username. My dog kind of looks like a Growlithe or an Arcanine. It's all Pokemon related. I think my oldest OC is a Pokemon trainer. What's your favorite Pokemon game? Oh, I don't think I've finished a Pokemon game since I was like 4. I played every Pokemon game. I don't finish them though. I am so freaking pumped for Pokemon Snap. I'm so excited. I didn't pre-order it, but I could have if I wanted to. I didn't have it on the 64, but when I was a kid, we used to go to the video rental store, and they had a little kiosk thing that had it. And so we would go and play it there while my parents, I don't know, rented movies or whatever. Or we could have just not been renting movies and they just brought us there because it was something to do, because that's what you did in the 90s. I always wanted to learn how to draw Pokemon. Not very good at it. Not very good at drawing Kiwi, like, animals. So I meant to say cute. Like, I'm not very good at drawing cutie animals. Not kiwi. I've met a kiwi. Like, not in the wild, though. Just at the zoo. Never held one. I've eaten a kiwi. Like, the fruit. I love kiwis. I mean, we just have like a really... we have a really, we have a free zoo here. So, again, when I was a kid, if it was free, you bet your ass we would be there. So I spent a lot of time at the zoo. We're one of the only, and probably the biggest free zoo in the country. I mean, I've also met a Kiwi as in a person who's from that's from, New Zealand. Wallabies are cute. There used to be a part of our zoo. I don't know if it's still... I mean, I'm assuming it's still there. Where, you could go, like, pet guinea pigs and bunnies and shit. Which isn't a wallaby, but... Who's talking to me? Why are you talking to me? What the fuck is this? Sorry guys, 1 second. Okay, you could at least friggin' put my goddamn... whatever. My contact information. Whatever. Alright. I'll just message them later. Do 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 do. Me neither. I can't spell either. Me neither. I can't spell either. What? You're talking about guinea pigs? I used to have one as a pet. But yeah, some people, there's places in the world that eat them. But I mean, like, there are places in the world that eat rabbits, too. It's kind of like that. I used to know somebody who kept rabbits for eating. Yeah, I don't... The only time I'd ever spell it is, like, if I had to talk about the country. No, I'm not gonna worry about that. Or the animal. And then I just Google it. When I was in New Orleans, I had rabbit jambalaya, and it was amazing. I mean, the same as can be said about a lot of stuff. Have you ever seen a baby cow? They're pretty freaking cute. Yeah, lambs are very cute too. I've seen Babe. I don't think I've ever actually had veal. I've had a lot of things, but I don't think I've ever had veal. Which is funny because we own a dairy farm. So cows we have access to. I mean, obviously they're not for eating, but I've never eaten squirrel. Although that is a very Midwestern thing, I feel like, to have eaten. Our grocery store sells like chicken feet and shit like that all the time. You get like turkey necks and gizzards. never had the gizzards. I'm against turkeys as a culture, as a creature that exists in the world. Not as a culture, because that's a bad thing to say. I'm not against Turkish people. I'm against turkeys as a bird, as a group. So I don't generally eat their parts. I'm not a fan. It does make you sleepy. Got tryptophan in it. The only time I ever really eat it is on Thanksgiving. I didn't even think about that chickens have gizzards. Alright. What time is that? Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and stop for tonight because my arm hurts and I'm tired. So I'll probably stream again some other time soon. Hopefully, and then once I figure out how to do it so that other people can't watch it, other than like Patreons, I will probably do a comic page stream. Not that I care that other people watch it, but, you know, they're not up to date. That's a weird fact. Rabbits and cats don't look anything alike. Alright, no. I gotta go to sleep. So, night-night. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me always. Let's see if I can figure out how to end this. Or you're just gonna be listening to me sleep. Are you gonna do this? Are we gonna stop? Oh, we're waiting.